And one sort of thinks if America didn't have these fixed elections in November, I'm just wondering if Trump had managed to hack it out into the spring, where both he and Boris actually did a relatively good job on vaccine preparation. If they fucked up everything else, they definitely got that Operation Warp Speed or whatever he called it. Nonetheless, it did make a difference. And there must be something agonizing for all your Remainer types who criticized Boris last year when he opted out of the EU vaccine strategy and plonked a friend of his in charge of the British vaccine strategy, was crucified publicly for doing this. And yet it worked out. And not only that, but not only just work out, but with Johnson's luck, he's now got the optics in which Britain, having left the EU, is now way ahead of the EU on its vaccination program, on its economic recovery. That must drive people crazy who don't like him and who are essentially sympathetic to the EU. Is that just an example of Boris's luck again?
Yeah, it's partly his luck, but it's the effect that he has. He does drive people mad, and they find it very difficult to know how to take him on. And he appears to have driven quite a lot of people in the European Commission mad. They are in, well, they're in, we have a thing, BDS here, Brexit derangement syndrome, which is where partisans on both sides appear to lose their faculties because they're so enraged by what the other people are doing that they don't really think about what would be best for them.
And over here, we have no idea what that's like. Our entire political culture is simply one bunch of people being absolutely aghast and horrified by everything the other side does. But go on. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, but I mean, your listeners may not know, but I mean, the stuff that's been going on has been fairly extraordinary. So Britain is way ahead, both in producing vaccines and then putting jabs in arms, and as a consequence, the EU has been threatening, to ban the export of the vaccines that are being produced in the EU, which Britain had the good sense to sign up for first. They have, they're now threatening to cut off ingredients this week so that we can't make vaccines here, which are then due to go back to them. And they've generally been going around sort of behaving in a slightly authoritarian, weird way that violates their own law.
Yeah, so you would think the
all
EU
because
is
he's sort of driven them mad,
right? Because the EU is supposed to be this rational, always unifying, never passionate, and they're behaving like rabid nationalists in a kind of way at this point.
Yeah, they're behaving like a lot of the Remainers did here. Over the whole Leave vote, and the EU stood back, during those sort of 3 years of turmoil as the sort of wry observer of this chaos. They treated Britain, a little bit like a sort of banana republic that couldn't really be trusted to tie its own shoelaces, let alone come up with a sensible plan for Brexit. But the second it happens, and they've got themselves in a mess over this, and they've talked down our vaccine. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine said it's unsafe. I mean, there's astonishing figures this week. In France, 30% of people think it's safe, even though their own administrators have approved it and said it's perfectly fine. Their own president has said stuff that has damaged his own ability to vaccinate his own population as a consequence. And they've all, they've behaved in a way that, frankly, has left some people who voted to remain, most of whom have not changed their minds, frankly, saying, well, it's all a bit embarrassing. You can't slightly see the point of Brexit. And as you say, it's very fortunate for Johnson because he was already going to be able to blame whatever economic turmoil Brexit might have brought on COVID anyway. And now he can turn around and say, look, if we'd stayed in, this is how they would have behaved. We would still be waiting for our vaccines. It's astonishingly fortuitous set of events. But part of it is it's not wholly divorced from Johnson.
No.
It is partly the effect it has on people.